A couple of weeks ago, we began our five-part series on real estate for the home buyer and seller. On today's part two, we'll be talking about polishing up your financials and becoming a stronger buyer candidate. On this Money Monday, we're happy to welcome Rick Decker, real estate agent for the Decker team of Local Homes and Land in Somerville. Rick, it's good to see you.
Hi, Layla. Good to see you, Tim.
Okay, so financials, it is a major part of the process of having you digging through your history. You become an archaeologist of sorts.
True. That is very true. People tend to forget what they did 5 years ago, and they tend to also forget what's on their report that they can negatively see and just think, well, this is just going to go away. And
it doesn't.
No,
it doesn't go away. It follows you for a while. How
Right.
far back do banks typically look?
I want to say 5 to 10. It depends on the lender. It really is an individual type thing. Okay, I've seen them go 5, I've seen them go 10, but not back any farther than 10.
Okay.
And the problem that you have is that people, they don't want to admit to what they've had out there. They want to let it be, like you said, like last week with Angie. I think they want to let it go and let it be, but they really can't. And these people that the lenders that we use are really, really good, and they outline step by step in detail what people need to do to take care of the past so it doesn't hold them up for the future.
Sure. So while the rest of us want to let sleeping dogs lie, the banks, they want to resurrect your history, which is why what Angie and I discussed a couple of weeks ago was that if you're planning on buying a home, start talking about it and planning things today. Don't wait until the last minute. Don't wait until you found your dream home and it's like, oh my goodness, now I've got to get all of my financials in order. What are the typical documents that lenders are going to ask you for?
They're going to ask for your tax returns and your pay stubs, okay? And if you're a 1099 employee or own your own business, they're going to ask for more. They're going to ask for stuff out of your bank account, particularly if you own your own company. I've had mechanics and people we've helped buy, and they're like, well, like my taxes are my company taxes. So how's that going to play? Well, that's going to play into it because your TIN number is attached to your social security number. And then they're going to want to see not only your corporate financials, they're going to want to see your personal financials. And if you own your own company and you're not paying yourself, it's going to send up a red flag. Okay. So you need to pay yourself, all right? But those are some of the things that they almost unequivocally ask for.
What are some of the stains that you should avoid on your financial history? I mean, delinquent payments, things like that.
Right. Yeah. Anything that, that's a lot of the biggest thing people see is their credit card. Okay. They get late on their credit card, especially during COVID. They're late on that credit card, and that will really hang you up, because credit card companies hold that stuff for 3 to 6 months. And it counts against your score, and it recertifies every month, but it's just a little bit at a time.
Mm-hmm.
I tell people, if you want to get a decent handle, get on Credit Karma. It won't give you exactly, it's always off by 3 to 10% and what the actual numbers are, but it gives you a snapshot of where you're at. And during COVID,
and it's free.
Yes, and it's free. And you're right. During COVID, I ran into a lot of people like, well, after COVID, I'm going to get my act together and start preparing to buy a house. Why? Take steps now.
Yes.
Because if you don't take the steps now, you're not going to get where you want to be by starting later.
And I want to talk about those steps, and we'll need to take a break here. So when we come back, we're going to go through a budget and a plan. So don't go anywhere.
Okay.
We'll be right back. Welcome back. We've been chatting with Rick Decker, real estate agent for the Decker team of the Local Homes and Land in Somerville agency. And we've been talking about home buying. We're doing a 5-part series here. We're at part 2, and we're getting into the nitty gritty, the financials, the tedious part that we all want to avoid, but is one of the most important things that we have to get in order before we can actually buy or start talking about buying a home. And we just finished discussing credit score. So getting your credit score up is going to be a major factor in whether or not you're going to get a lender to take you on as a debtor, right?
Correct.
Okay, so in order to do this, don't wait to the last minute to try to fix things. Work well in advance and set up a plan. Let's talk about what those steps are that one should take.
Well, basic thing is that everybody needs to set up a budget. They need to know what their income is and what they're spending out. I get really grade school on this when I talk to people, because a lot of people, they're like, well, I don't have any idea, but I guess there's an app I can do. There's something I can learn on the internet. No, get you a little notebook, a little flip page notebook. Okay. At the top of the notebook, write spent and the date. Okay. And write down everything you spend in that notebook. And the reason why is because let me turn my hat around a little bit from realtor to something else, but it's a matter of behavior. And if you don't change your behavior, you're not going to change your spending. Flipping the hat back, if you take an assessment is what you're doing each day of how much you're spending, and start writing down everything you spend. It's tedious. However, at the end of the day, you can see that $55 in soda pop, water, cigarettes, snacks, whatever, where it went, instead of at the end of the week looking at the checkbook going, man, I had $585 in the beginning and now I'm down to 56. Where did it all go? Right. Well, it went for gas, it went for snacks, so if you can get a handle on that daily process of what you're spending. And then I tell everybody, if you have a computer and you have some savvy with a computer, set up a budget inside Excel. List all your bills, how much they are, when they have to be paid, and pull those triggers as soon as you can. Mm-hmm. Now, if you know that you're not going to have enough money to come in, people have a tendency like, I'm not going to be able to pay that bill, so I'm not going to talk to anybody. Wrong. Pick up the phone, call that person and say, hey, listen, I'm short this week. I'm pretty sure I can make this up, and develop a plan with them, because I'm going to tell you right now, no matter who you are, your creditor would much rather have you call them and say, I'm short, I need to work out something, and do that, than have them call you. You avoid it. And I'm talking from
communication goes a very, very long way. I'm not curious.
Everybody has a strength.
I'm kind of curious, what's the going rate right now for lenders? What is the current interest rate?
I think it's 3.25.
Okay, so now is a good time. So what people should be doing is paying down their debt, saving their money, sacrificing things in order to take advantage, because now is the time. And if those rates start going up, it just means that mortgages are going to become more expensive. And just as a last thought here, Rick, are there any programs that are happening for people who've been affected negatively by COVID?
There are, and the lenders, they know about them.
Okay.
Like Angie said before, as realtors, our expertise is, the buying process, getting you in and out of the property. The lenders, I'm telling you, these people are the ones you need to have in your back pocket if you want them to be able to buy a house at some point. And
where I'm going with this is, just because you had something adversely affect you because of the pandemic, don't let that stop you from attempting to purchase a home, because that is the American dream and everybody has a right to it.
Right.
I want to thank you so much for joining us. Excellent information.
Thank you.
All right, and be sure to tune in a couple of weeks when we talk about offers a seller should not pass up while taking a gamble on a better one that might be waiting around the wings. We're going to do that in a couple of weeks. Thanks again, Rick. We'll be back in 2 minutes.